So there are some scenarios whereby that we adjust the fundamental pricing model of the this is investment asset categories. Okay, so for instance that when you hold the spot position, and this spot position would offer you some income. For instance, like you're holding shares, okay, and these stocks will give you some dividend, okay. Where you are holding a building, so this building you can rent it out. These are all the incomes, right? When you're receiving, having a spot position. But if you have like Microsoft stock futures, do you receive the dividend? If you have a Microsoft stock futures, do you receive the dividend? No, right? Okay, so if you have a Microsoft stock futures, you don't receive the dividend, okay? And then when that's in dollar prices, you adjust here. That's, can you write down the symbol I? I means income, okay? And then ERT. Okay, let me repeat again, okay? So assuming that this is a Microsoft underlying. So you have a Microsoft share, which will give you dividends, right? Every year. And then compare with Microsoft futures, which doesn't give you the dividend, right? So plus or minus. Investor will prefer spot over futures. Spot, right? Because when you hold the share itself, you receive the dividend. When you hold the futures, you don't, right? So in that case, the future price should be marked down. It's cheaper, right? So that's negative here. Okay, so let me repeat again. When you hold the spot position, this spot position will give you some extra income. This is very typical, okay, such as dividend, such as rent, okay? And then in that case, investor would prefer to hold the spot rather than the futures, right? Because future doesn't offer you this extra income. So as a consequence, the future price should be marked down. Are we okay with that? Yeah? Okay. So that's in dollar prices, okay? Sometimes, okay, the income which gives you is in the yields, which is percentage. Okay, so holding spot position offers some income, but this time is in percentage. Okay, we give a symbol Q %. Okay, so in that case, when you want to adjust into your pricing model, F0 would equals to S0. E, you adjust on the percentage here, okay? R minus Q over T. Are we okay with that? Assuming we discount from the end of the periods, okay? Alternatively, that if that you receive the dividend in the future, then you have to compute the present value. We have a tutorial related to that. Later on, I'm going to show you. So far, more important, you have to bear in your mind is that when holding the spot position, it gives you some income. Then in that case, investor prefer to hold spot when it offers income, right? So therefore, F0 should be marked down. So that's the minus sign here. Are we okay so far? Yeah? Secondly, when you hold the spot, sometimes it will incur some storage cost, right? So for instance that when you harvest your wheat before the delivery, you need some storage to keep your wheat, to keep your yellow beans, right? Even all those animals as well. Okay? And even for the gold, need to some safe case, right? So in that case, all these are the costs. Okay? Holding the spot position, incur cost. This cost could be the storage cost, could be transportation cost. Okay, any cost due to holding your spot position. Okay, so first of all, it can be in dollar amount as well. In that case, people will prefer holding the futures rather than spot, right? So this will give it U as a symbol, okay? So if you hold the gold spot, it's really heavy. You have to carry it around or to save it somewhere, okay? Incur some storage cost. But if you're holding the gold futures, you don't have this gold cost, right? So as a consequences, the investor will prefer to hold the gold futures. So the price of the gold futures should go up in the theoretical model. It becomes a plus. Are we okay so far? Yeah? Okay. So basically, you adjust the pricing model becomes a plus when there's a cost happen in holding the spot position. Okay. Finally, you can also adjust the pricing model when this storage cost is in percentage. Okay? If that's in percentage. Okay. We give a symbol D. Okay, it can be the storage cost as well or transportation cost. Okay, so similar to the previous cases, you know how to adjust that, right? With the R, F0 equals to S0 E R plus D. It's plus already. Okay, plus D, and then multiply by T. Are we okay with this? Yeah? Okay. So this is how we adjust the pricing model. And this adjustment is based on that holding the spot position. You look at your spot position, whether the spot position will bring you more income or incur some more cost. Okay? If it brings you more income, then investor will prefer spot over the futures or forward. So future or forward price should be marked down in the theoretical pricing model. Okay? And then a holding spot position, when they actually brings more cost in the spot position, then the investor will prefer to hold the futures or forward. So as a consequences, the future or forward price is a plus in your pricing model. So it becomes a positive factors. Are we okay with that? Okay, so U and D, they are cost. I and Q, they are income. So far so good? Yeah? This is a very important key part you want to take away from this chapter, because this chapter talking about the pricing model, that's all. Okay? And later on we just practice different bits, but basically that's the key things you want to take away from here. Okay, if that's okay, the pricing model also related to the arbitrage. I think in the chapter 1 introduction we practiced this already, so just quickly go through the questions. Suppose that the spot price of the gold is US 1000, that's the S0, right? We can use F0 equals to S0 ERT or S0 1 plus R to the power of T. Okay, and then quoted 1 year future price, that's the market. Remember, yeah, when we are using all this pricing model, the price you figure out is what we call model price, okay? Or this is the model price, or theoretical price, okay? And then this second one, quoted price, that's the market price, okay? It's different. Are we okay with that? Okay, so pay attention. 1 year US interest is 5%, that's the RF per annum, okay? And then it says no income or storage cost we have to adjust, right? So what's the arbitrage opportunity? So remember, I think you remember this case, right? So what we do is like F0 equals to S0, 1 plus R to the power T. So your model price will equals to 1,000 times 1.05 to the power, because it's T equals to 1, right? It's 1 year. Okay, it's 1050. 1050 is your model price. And then it is higher than F market, because your F market is 990, right? So what's your arbitrage strategy? Buy low, sell high, right? Buy low, sell high. So the low one is this one, right? Buy F market. Remember, yeah, futures market price, you can buy that because they are available in the market, okay? But you cannot sell the theoretical model, right? So the only thing you can sell is the S0 because it's available in the market. And this is the factor driven up your theoretical price, right? So sell S0, which is the spot, okay? So that's your arbitrage strategy. Okay, remember this principle here, okay? After you computed the theoretical prices, then you execute the arbitrage trading, buy low, sell high. Okay, so we can see another example here. That's the, here the same thing. I'll just quickly write down. That's the model, higher than F market, equals to 990, right? So you buy F market, sell S0, okay? Arbitrage trading. Okay, if that's all right, we can continue. So you can also practice this in the comparison between stock futures and the stock spot. Okay, so the spot price of the non-dividend paying stock. So that's the S0. Okay, 3 months forward price is 43. That's the F0, remember, market. Okay, 3 months US interest rate is 5% per annum. Remember, yeah, T is 3 months. So T equals to 3 months over 12 months equals to 0.25 year this time. Okay, but the interest rate R is already analyzed. So RF is 5%. Okay? So we can execute the arbitrage, right? So F model equals to S0, 1 plus R to the power T. Here would be 40 times 1.05. Your T is 0.25, remember? Okay, and then you figure out equals to 40.5. 40.5 is lower than F0 market, which is $43 here. Current market price, okay? So basically they are not the same, so you can execute your arbitrage trading. okay, you will buy low, sell high. Remember, you cannot buy the model, so you buy the price, which is the spot, drive down your model prices, okay, and then sell the market futures. You can buy, you can sell that, okay. So sell F market at $43, okay, the spot price. Okay, the next slide also describe the same thing. You can just take a look. Okay. Now check out this question. Suppose that you enter into a 6 months. So remember, yeah, 6 months. T equals to 6 months over 12 months equals to 0.5. Okay. On the dividend, non-dividend paying stocks, when the stock price is 30, so that's the S0. Okay, and the risk-free rate interest with continuous compounding is 12%. That's the RF. Okay, and now here are using the continuous compounding, so we have to use the continuous compounding this time. Okay, so now F0 equals to S0 ERT. The question asks, what's the forward price? So straightforward, right? S0 ERT equals to S0 is 30 times e to the power r is 0.12 times 0.5. That's how you figure out the continuous compounding figure, okay? And then the price is 31.86. Okay, so up to now we haven't done any exercise related to how do we adjust the storage or the dividend, okay? But for this, you really have to bear in your mind, that's the fundamental, right? Okay, so that's the answer. If short sales are not possible, you can still come up with the with your pricing model, right? So formula still works for investment asset because investor who hold the asset will sell it and buy forward contract when the forward price is too low. So you can still execute, okay? Because for trading of futures and the forward, you can always standing in the short and long position, okay? So trading of futures and forward can still stand at either short or long position. Okay, you can do this. So short sell is what happened in the market, but it doesn't really matter. Okay. Okay. Now, investment asset provides a non-dollar income. So this, can you write I? Okay, this I is in dollar amount, and it could be, as I just mentioned, dividend payment, okay, or the rent, etc. Okay, but pay attention, yeah, because the S0 is the price of the spot today, so your income needs to be the positive price as well, the present value. Okay, so I is the present value, or we assume that is today's value, okay, during the life of the forward contract. If we know exactly the periods when it's happened, and if you know the interest rate, obviously we can come up with the present value by discounting back, okay? Otherwise, you have to assume that that's the price today, okay? Now, let's try one of the questions, okay? So there is a forward contract. T equals to 10 months. Okay, and then S0 equals to $50. RF equals to 8%. Okay, and now we have a dividend payment. Okay, so this is a quarter dividend payment like TSMC. Okay, pays every 3 months. So at 3 months, $0.75. At 6 months, okay, $0.75. At 9 months, $0.75. So every 6 months you receive $0.75. Are we okay with that? Okay. So question F0. Okay. Now, first of all, writing down the formula. F0 equals to S0 minus I, because these are income, right? Dividend is an income, so it will mark down your forward or futures price, right? And then over E minus RT, right? And then here, T would equals to 10 months over 12 months, remember? That's how you figure out. Okay. Now, secondly, you have a 3 dividend payment in different periods, right? So the second thing is that if we draw a timeline, your life is 10 months for this contract. Okay, and then 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. Okay, each month you will receive, the investor will receive $0.75 dividend. That's the question, right? Okay, so now, first thing is that you have to because we are computing the F0 at time 0 today, right? So what we're gonna do is you have to compute the present value of I first. These are the I. Okay, we have to compute the present value of I first. Do we know how to do that? Yes, because we have each time period's dollar, we have a different T, and we have the risk-free rates R, right? So we are going to compute the I. Pay attention, yeah? The first one would be $0.75, E minus RT minus 0.08, that's your R, right? T is 3 over 12, agree? 3 months later, guys, what we're doing now is we have to make all this different time income discounted back to the present time. Are we okay with that? To figure out the present value of all this dividend income. And then when you figure out all this, you can put the present value of dividend income into this I here. So far so good? Yeah? Okay. So basically, the first term will be 0.75 discounted for 3 months plus 0.75 discounted for 6 months, right? Plus 0.75 discounted for 9 months. Are we okay with that? Yeah? Okay, so you can figure out your discounted present value for all these 3 I add up together equals to $2.162. Okay? That's the PV of I. PV of I is the one that you have to insert it into your formula. Okay? So F0 equals to S0 minus I, E minus RT. S0 here is $50 according to the question. Minus I is 2.162. Okay? And then multiply by E minus RT, E minus ERT. That's the forward price. So, ERT is the multiply. Compounding, okay? 这是真的。Okay, it's ERT. So 0.08 times T is 10 over 12. Okay, so for this, you can figure out your price is $51.14. You guys follow me? Okay, now, not everyone has the financial calculator, right? Because if you want to compute the exponential term, you need engineer with no financial calculator. In the exam, I'll give you a table, okay, with a lot of e to the power of something, and then I compute it for you the number already. You just choose the one you think is most appropriate, insert into your formula. So don't worry about that, okay? So for instance, I'll give you e 0.08 times 0.5, things like that. Are we okay with that? Okay, and I can have a compounding factor and discounting factor. You just choose the most pertinent one. Okay with that? Okay, so don't worry if you don't have the calculator, but you have to bring the simple ones. All right. So far so good? Yeah? If that's the case, we will continue. So we know that, if this income is in percentage, okay, that means yields. Q in yields, okay? For instance, dividend yields, right? Okay, in the stock market, a lot of time when they issue the dividend, they'll be announced in percentage. Okay, you are adjusting in here. So remember, it's still an income. Okay, so you mark down your price in the futures or forward pricing model. Where Q is the average yield during the life of the contract expressed with the continuous compounding. Okay. So far so good, yeah? Okay, now we want to learn another formula. This formula, pay attention, only available for the forward contracts. Okay, later in the tutorials, we want to introduce the most important forward contract in short term, which is the FRA, basically following very similar logic, but FIA have some specifications. So later I'll show you when we come to the tutorial. But only the forward. Why? Because forward contract, most of the time, okay, hold until the maturity. Okay? So you will do the delivery. Okay? And then futures contracts, we know already 99%. People will not hold until the end, right? You do offset trading early. Okay? T is not sure. If you are futures owner, no matter you have a long futures or short futures, nobody knows when will you execute your position. Okay, you might leave next week, you might leave 2 weeks later. Okay, so everybody is doing offset trading just before the maturity. But if you are the forward owner, because this contract specifications, both long and short party will hold this until the end. So T is fixed, right? T is the maturity. Okay, so every day we are able to compute the present value for these forward contracts, either for the long position or for the short position. That's the first thing. Can you guys follow me? Okay, so this formula particularly available for the forward contracts. Secondly, remember what I say in the first, trading of the futures and forward are zero-sum game, right? So the value of the long forward and the value for the short forward, again, they are the opposite as well. Okay? So if you are long forward owner, you are the buyer, and then after you computing your forward was $10, if I'm your counterparty on the short forward, that means I'm losing $10. Are we okay with that? So the formula for long and short parties, again, are the opposite. You have to remember two formulas. Can you guys follow me? Okay? One is for long forward position, the other is for short forward position. Basically, just the sign are different. Okay, so far? Yeah? Okay, so take a look at the explanation. A forward contract is worth zero except for bid and offer spread effects when it first negotiated. Okay? Because basically we started with value equals to zero. Okay? When you first priced. Okay? Later, it may have a positive or negative value because you compare F0 with F market, okay, when exercise. Okay, and then F market is going up or down every day, right? So it becomes positive or negative, okay? And then in your forward contracts, remember that when you sign the contract, you decided your exercise price, right? This exercise price in the forward contract has a specific term. We call it delivery price because this is very likely you hold until the end, and that's the price for the buyers to buy, for the seller to sell, right? That's your exercise price. Okay? And F0 is the forward price for contract that would be negotiated today. Okay, so basically K would equals to F0 when we negotiate it today. Okay? So when you compare K with F market every day, every time when you try to price the forward. Okay, now it will be better if I show you the formula. Okay, so before we started with the formula, I want to draw the two diagrams. Remember, the forward contract, again, you have a long position. This guy has a long forward. Okay, and then the second one is the counterparty, which have a short forward. Okay, and remember, yeah, the cross point there, here is your exercise price or delivery price. That's your K. Okay, when you just sign the contract today, your delivery price will equals to the forward price today. That's why it equals to 0. Okay, but from tomorrow onwards, the market price for this forward contract will start to go up and down. Okay, your K remains the same in the contract, so it started to bring your contract positive or negative income. Are we okay with that? Okay, now remember, yeah, by heart. Otherwise, write down on your sheets, okay? Long forward contracts, how do you compute your gain and losses? Okay, this is the F market. So basically, long forward, that's the long, right? Value would equals to F0, that's the F market price, minus K. Okay, but remember, yeah, this is assuming, because the forward and exercise price, the delivery price, will be exercised at the end of periods, right? If you're standing at today, you will exercise or delivery at T, right? And if we are trying to compute the present value, you have to discount it back. Agree? Okay, so you have to take discounted time. Can you write it down? That's the present value. Okay, means that if you sign a contract today, it will expire after 3 months. Maybe after 1 month, you are curious about the price or value of this forward contract. So you would then discount it back by 2 months. Are we okay with that? That's the present value, okay? So this formula is for present value. 这是现值哦，哈 at any time. Now, the second formula, if you take a look up here, when you are standing at the short forward position, and that's the F0 market, basically your profit, short forward, okay, will be the opposite, right? K minus F0, E minus RT. Okay, so bear in your mind. Did you know this? When these two add up together equals to how much? 0, right? It's a zero-sum game, right? Okay, so their payoff are the opposite. Okay, finally, before we turn to next slide, let's give a symbol for the value of the forward contract, okay? So here, long for value, can you write down F? And then if I were you, I would put long in lowercase, okay? And then short forward would be F short. We okay with this? Yeah? Now, the next slide is the Mandarin. You can take a look, okay? But just be careful. The first one is for long. The second one is for short. 这里有写长部位、短部位 ，OK 吗？ The same formula, alright? Now, let's try out this example here. A 1 year, when you read this question, you have to be careful now because you know that long position and short position has different formula, right? So distinguish whether you are standing at long and short or short, okay? So a 1 year long, so this tells you T equals to 1, right? 1 year. Okay, and this tells you have a long position. Okay, so if we draw diagrams, you know, anytime if I were you, I would draw a diagram to help you distinguish better your position, okay? The cross point here is K, right? Agree? And then on the non-dividend payment stop is entered when the stock price is 40. Remember, that's S0. We have to use this to compute F0, okay? And RF is 10%. Okay. So when you have a long position, your F would equals to F market minus K E minus RT, right? That's our formula for long. Write it down. Okay, and K equals to F0. Any question? 有关有吗？有问题吗？ K equals to F0 ERT, right? We have to compute K first from today's price. I'm sorry, S0 ERT. That's today's forward price, okay? Equals to the F0 today, basically. So that's why in the beginning today, your forward price F equals to 0, okay? Okay, now continue. First question, what are the forward price and the initial price of the forward contract? Okay, first of all, initial price or initial value of forward. K equals to F0. So F0 minus K equals to 0, right? So F equals to 0. Initially, when you started, your delivery price equals to your F0 today. So you started with 0. Are we okay with that? Equivalent price, okay? But after tomorrow, your F0 becomes F1, F2, right? It's changing over time. So you have different F now, okay? Now the second question is, we have to compute F0, right? Equals to K, equals to S0 ERT, equals to S0 is $40, E to the power of R is 10% times 1. Are we okay with that? T is 1 year, right? R is 10%, okay? So when you read the question, be careful, okay? Try to identify all the factors. T equals to 1, and then R equals to 10%, okay? And S0 equals to 40. That's the information. Okay, so after you use this computation, you can directly write down F0 equals to K equals to 44.21. That's the question, okay? Okay, now question B, 6 months later, the price of the stock is 45. Remember, that's 6 months later. So that's S 6 months later. Like after 6 months, standing at 6 months later, your spot price is $45. Okay? The risk-free rate is still 10%, that's the RF. What are the forward price and the value of forward contract? Okay, this question is a little bit tricky. If I were you, I would suggest you to write down your timeline. Let's try to draw the timeline. 0, 1 year, and then that's 6 months later. Agree? Our original contract is 1 year, right? And now it's 6 months later. Can you guys follow me? Okay. So basically, question wants you to stand at 6 months later to figure out F, okay, and the F, your value of the forward, and the forward prices after 6 months later. Are we okay with that? Okay, now, first of all, F 6 months would equals to S 6 months. E to the power of RT, agree? Right? But the thing is though, after 6 months, your T equals to how much? 6 months over 12 months. You only have half of a year remain, right? So pay attention, even T has changed. Okay? We are standing here now. In the future, you only have 0.5 years remain. So T has changed. And S0 you are using here as 6 months later. Are we okay with that? Okay. So now it will equals to 45 times E to the power of R is 0.08. T is 0.5. Oh, sorry, 0.1. Your risk-free rate is 10%. I'm still in the last question. Okay, so 0.1. Okay, so you will be able to figure out this is 47.31. That's the market price. Okay, guys, how do we use this number, F 6 months? If you go back to the pricing model, because the question wants us to figure out F, right? This figure, 47.31 in the model is this one, right? F market. Are we okay with that? That's the price 6 months later. Okay? Is the F market. Your K will not change because that's the delivery price you signed today, 6 months ago when you signed a contract. Can you guys follow me? Okay? So this price is how much you forecast 6 months later. Okay? So basically, K, if this is K is 44.21, right? Okay, and 6 months later, F, 6 months is here, 47.31. You guys follow me? Yeah? So, in that case, you are able to predict your forward price value, okay? F, remember we have a long position, so you are using long formula, would equals to F 6 months minus K E minus RT. Remember T is 6 months only, okay? Because you only have a 6 months remand. So would equals to 47.31 minus your K is the same, always the same in a contract, 44.21, and then times E minus RT minus 0.1 times 0.5. Okay, then you figure out, you focus the forward value 6 months later. Remember, it can be positive or negative. In our scenario, it's positive, okay, because 6 months later, your F goes up. So, $2.95. That's the answer, okay? So, in this question, the first answer I'll write down there, okay, in the question, behind the question. The first answer is 44.21. Second answer is 2.95. Okay? And the forward contract value is 0 beginning. Okay. It's a little bit complicated, but you have to learn about this before we can proceed to tutorial, because the FRA is even more complicated about this. Okay. You guys follow me? Okay. Next slide also gives you the computation in answer, but I want to just, can I continue next slide? Yeah? Okay. Now, next slide is basically exactly the same as what I'm computing, but people get confused here. So I'll write down here. Basically, here should be 47.31 minus 44.21 over E minus 0.1 times 0.5. Okay, but the thing is, you see here, 47.31 times e to the power of minus RT is 45. That's why they open the brackets, put 45 here. It's actually the same thing, okay? But it will be better you just follow the formula here, okay? To help you better understand the reason, okay, why you do the computation. So, remember, yeah, that's the F 6 months minus K here, okay? And pay attention, after 6 months, T equals to 6 months over 12 months. It's no longer 1 year, okay? So this one is a little bit trapped, okay? You have to pay attention to this one. You guys follow me so far? Yeah? Okay. Okay, we finish this slide and we will have a break. We still got 1 hour to go, don't worry. Okay, but this one is important. We learned the pricing model for forward and futures, right? But very importantly, remember, the distinguished difference between forward and futures is that futures has a margin account, okay? So because of the existence of the margin account, it will drive the pricing model sometimes a little bit different. Let me emphasize again, if you don't focus on the pricing model chapter, basically the pricing model for futures and forward, you can consider exactly the same, okay? But if you want to really go into very detail, could they be different? Yes, okay, when changing the interest rate, very volatile, okay? The thing is though, when you are having the futures, because you have to pay margin into the account, right? The money you put in the margin account will provide interest rate income. Okay? Forward contracts to pay margin is not necessary or not enforced. So in that case, you don't earn the interest in the margin account. Are we okay with that? Okay, because of this, okay, futures price will go up when the interest rate go up because you earn more money compared with the forward. Okay, so basically this slide is talking about that. When you have a two contract exactly the same, like they are all Microsoft futures or forward with 3 months with the same exercise price, everything the same, except for one is forward, one is futures. Can you guys follow me? Okay, but because that futures contracts traded in the exchange, in your margin account, the money you put in for the initial margin and all the margin balance will get you interest rate payments every day. Okay, so when the interest rate is going up, you earn more money in your futures contract, so it becomes more valuable compared with the forward, because forward doesn't earn interest rate for you. You guys follow me? Okay, take a look at the description here. When the maturity and asset price are the same, which means that the two contracts are identical, forward and futures prices are usually assumed to be the same. So basically, you are following the same formula, okay? Like F0 equals to S0 ERT can be valid for both forward and futures contracts, all right? But here in the bracket, say euro-dollar futures are an exception because this is due to, what is euro-dollar? Means that you are trading a contract with different currency, okay? So euro-dollar futures will involve different currencies, so there will be a currency risk or foreign exchange rate risk. So it might not drive the forward and futures to be exactly the same, okay? Because it depends on how you determine the exchange rate to convert it, the money, okay? But except for this, if they are all quoted in the same currency, then you have no problem. You can use the same formula for forward and futures, okay? But the exceptional is here, when interest rate are uncertainty, very uncertain. Normally, the risk-free rate will not move very frequently. But in the recent 1 year, for instance, like in 2023, the US government raised the interest rate from like 2% into 8%, right? So you have very volatile interest rate, okay? This could drive the price amount to be different for forward and futures, okay? Bear in your mind these 2 points. A strong positive correlation, okay? So when interest rate goes up, between the interest rate and the asset price, implies the futures price is slightly higher than the forward, okay? The reason is futures price contract will earn more interest rate in margin account. But the forward contract doesn't have, okay? But the strong negative correlation will imply the reverse, because originally you are staying in the equilibrium already. When the interest rate go down, your futures will earn less, okay? So sometimes it becomes even lower price compared with the forward. Okay, on the condition when you started with an equilibrium. You guys follow me? Okay, so basically the impacts of an interest rate movement is affecting the price of the futures, okay? And then futures price could go up or down, and then to drive the equilibrium to be deviated compared with the forward contract. You guys follow me? Okay, so most of the time, if you earn a lot of interest in holding the futures or in the margin account, then futures price would be more expensive, okay, compared with the same identical contracts of the forward. So far so good?